Welcome to Chasing Brighter, the podcast created as a guide to make midlife the best life.
Are you ready to embrace the next chapter of your life with confidence and excitement?
Join us each week as we bring you inspiring stories, expert interviews, and actionable tips to help you navigate the challenges and opportunities of midlife. Are you ready to chase brighter days ahead? Subscribe to Chasing Brighter now, and let's embark on this exciting journey together.
Remember, your best life is just a listen away. We're so excited to have you today because we're talking about something that's especially important during the busy holiday season: protecting your time and learning how to say no without the guilt.
Let's face it, the holidays are packed with events, requests, and obligations. And from parties to family gatherings to work events, gift exchanges, you can feel like you're constantly being pulled in a million different directions. But if we don't set time boundaries, we can easily end up overcommitted, overwhelmed, and resentful, and potentially having a miserable holiday season. So today, we want to explore how you can say no with confidence, protect your time, so you can focus on what truly matters to you without feeling guilty.
That's the key, right? So let's start with the big question. Why is it so hard to say no? I think for many of us, especially women, right, we are trained to be good girls. We want to please others. We want to avoid disappointing anyone. There's a fear. You're laughing at me. The smile's
Be
making me
good
laugh.
girls.
It is. And have you seen that's like a big thing going around about this whole good girl thing, right? What girls do, their shame, what a moms do, what a women do. And then we have this fear, I definitely have in the past, of being seen as selfish. We worry about what people will think if we turn down an invitation, if we don't show up to every holiday event. But the truth is, and if you are a longtime listener, you know what we're going to say: saying no is an essential part of self-care. It's about
Yeah.
creating space in your life for the things that truly align with your values and your priorities. So when you protect your time, you are honoring yourself and your well-being, and that is never something to feel guilty about.
Saying no is important, and here's why. Protecting your time is about protecting your energy. The more you
Yes.
say yes to things that don't align with your priorities, the less energy you have for the things that truly matter to you. This could be quality time with your family, self care, rest, pursuing hobbies, binging your favorite Netflix show, the goals that fill your cup, things that really make you happy. And so when you're not living that truth, it just, it really depletes your energy. Every yes is a commitment of time and energy. Learning how to say no will not just help you in avoiding burnout, but you're creating a life that feels more intentional and aligned with your values.
If you want to hear more about JOMO, the joy of missing out, and why saying no is really a key to freedom and your time, check out season 2, episode 5, our book club, 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman. Just talking about we only have so much time. And so sometimes saying no opens up a world of opportunities. As you're planning your holiday season and thinking about what you want to do with your time, we want you to refer to our 4 tips, okay? And tip number 1 is get clear on your priorities, okay? So the first strategy to help you say no without guilt is to get crystal clear on your priorities. Take time to think about what really matters to you. Is it spending time with your immediate family?
Is it carving out space for rest and relaxation? Or maybe it's time for personal goals that tend to get pushed aside. Whatever it is, write it down. This list will be your guide when deciding how to spend your time. This is the perfect time for you to really start thinking about as you go into the holiday season. What is it that you want to do this holiday season? One of the reasons we have these episodes, we know how hard it is to control our schedules. And so please take a minute, write them down, think about what is happening when your request comes in, ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? If the answer is no, then it's easier to say no to the request without feeling guilty because you're protecting your time and what truly matters. Putting that list down, the other thing you're going to realize, at least I know, Jess, I would, is I have a shit ton of priorities because I want to do everything. And so part of that is like really starting to rank things and figure out what's important. And then when other things come in, you can say, wow, that sounds really fun, but I know that this other thing is more important to me. And so if I say no to this, I'll feel like I know I'll enjoy something that's important to me more.
And I was going to say, even maybe it doesn't have to be this thing of spending time with family, but maybe you choose just a few words, like the vibe of your holiday season. So let's say the vibe I want is calm and peace. I'm invited to a New Year's Eve party on the strip that starts at 11 p.m. Does that align with calm and peace? Probably not. Right. And so, really thinking, or it could be fun and adventure, right? That's the vibe you want. Oh, yes, sledding up at Mount Charleston. We want to do that. Totally. That's like the fun and adventure that we're focusing on. So, I think too, it can be like a few words or phrases or a mantra for the season
Love that,
that
Jess. That's
you're
a great tip.
preparing. Thank you. I just made it up. It just came to me. And also, I want to pick a vibe. I don't know. It's okay to say no to parties, extra work events, and you can say something like, I'm so grateful for the invitation, but I've committed to spending more time with my family this year. Simple, clear, and respectful.
I love that. I am always responding, not always, but if I can't make something, I'm always like, oh, I would love to go and try to be respectful of the person asking. A lot of them are very thoughtful, especially invitations. People are very thoughtful about who they do invite, being more mindful of that.
We'll be right back. I think that Warrior Strong Wellness is really on the cutting edge of what is going to help us with our mind, our body, our gut. The collagen's great for gut, joint, bone
Mhm.
care.
I love the collagen bone broth. It's got protein in it and it's got collagen. It helps me feel good, especially when I'm not feeling so well. Plus the protein, which every woman is not eating enough protein. The other product that I absolutely love is the Pure Organic Ashwagandha Max supplement.
Mhm.
It provides adrenal support. It balances energy and mood, helps with nervous and immune health. Taking two of those in the morning really helps regulate my stress response and I sleep better. So if you are interested or would like to know more about Warrior Strong Wellness products, check that out at warriorstrongwellness.com and use code Chasing Brighter for 10% off. And now back to the show. So tip number 2 is shift your mindset about saying no. So this is our own internal narrative and how we can
Yeah.
change how we say that. A lot of us feel guilty when we say no because we think we're letting someone down. But here's the thing, saying no is not a rejection of a person. It's a reflection of our own boundaries and values. It's not selfish to protect your time, it's necessary for your well being. There was a study done by the American Psychological Association. It's titled Saying No. The negative ramifications from invitation declines are less severe than we think.
Yeah.
And this was a big study about basically saying no to people. We think that we're going to hurt feelings and we think that we're making this big impact, but it actually isn't as bad as we in our minds are thinking.
Yeah. And I think I go back again to Oliver Berkman's book, 4,000 Weeks, where we have 4,000 weeks on this earth. And so
It's a
we
great
only have so
concept.
much time. We have so much time. And so we have to say no to some things. And so reframe how you think about saying no. And instead of thinking as something negative, think about it as a positive choice because you are saying yes to something else, whether it's yes to sleeping in, yes to chilling, right? Whatever it is, when you say no to things that don't serve you, you're saying yes to the things that do. And imagine yourself how it would feel. Imagine how freeing it would feel to give yourself permission to decline invitations or requests without guilt weighing you down. It's not saying no to everything. It's about making room for what's important to you.
I love that, Jess. And I also think, I know we're talking about invitations and it's not like I'm getting a
We're
ton of
just getting
invitations
I don't even know my
to
family.
holiday
We're so
parties.
popular.
But you know what I also think is important is saying no to yourself.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I want to do, and I think
Yeah.
having those priorities and shifting my mindset to say, "We're not gonna do these things this year because
Yeah.
these don't align really with my values. They sound fun, and I think they
Yeah.
could be great, but I can't do everything, and I really wanna make room for what's most important during this holiday
Yes.
season."
Here's an example. Did you ever I'm trying to think if I remember. Did you guys ever go see Santa on an annual
Yes.
basis?
Or
Okay. So
we went to the yeah,
let's
there.
check a box. You got to get your kids with Santa, right?
Yes.
I don't know the last time we did that. I don't care anymore. What is that to me? Finding a place, waiting in line. Your kids may or may not cry or be scared. You wait, you go, why? So you can get a picture and send it to people? And so is that align with my values? And so that's an example of something I like not an invitation that we've said no to. I'm gonna say no to some of these traditions that I created that don't serve me anymore.
One that I really struggle with is the good old fashioned family photo.
Yeah.
And every season around this time, I feel pressure to get a family photo. And I'm flooded with the idea of, let's say it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Oh crap, I have to like get up early, do my hair, fix everybody's outfits to go get the family photo. And I just am like, "Oh, that seems like too much effort." But I know I would have an amazing Christmas card. That's the
Mhm.
thing. And it's like, why do I need an amazing Christmas card?
Yeah.
So, really spending time with yourself and thinking about what you want out of this holiday season. I know we have a lot of episodes on this every year, and it's a work in progress for all of us. And
Yeah.
so that's why we talk about these different topics as we approach the
Yeah.
holidays.
I was a family photo person, and I know I've talked about this on previous episodes, and we just couldn't get it going schedule wise. And so I thought me saying no one year was no Christmas cards, and that felt terrible to me. I did it. I did that. I said no to it, and I did not like the way that made me feel. So the last 2 years, I have actually printed out my own cards at home, and they were family photos. Kels, you remember one of them was I just the prep for these cards I've had the last 2 years has been 5 minutes searching Pinterest. So one of them was Have a Silent Night, where the kids we put, like, duct tape on them and we wrapped them up in Christmas lights, and then Justin and I were, like, cheersing in the background, drinking wine. I had no bra on in that picture. We literally were in pajamas. I printed it out, and then we had, like, a family fun Christmas card, and then last year, it was something about, like, social media, like, we all were on our phones and a
Yeah.
computer, and
Mhm.
it literally was like, one of my kids might have been wearing their school uniform. I don't even know. We weren't primping or anything like that. I literally got the tripod out, stuck the camera on. We took 2 photos. We all picked one, the end,
That was
right?
it.
And so I've been trying to honor my value of staying connected with friends and families across the country and letting them know
Yeah.
what we're up to,
Mhm.
but also letting go of perfectionism of having this perfect, beautiful family card. And also, when I hear you saying that, it makes you just want to go to Mount Charleston and just bring my tripod. Now you can get a tripod. Our cameras are amazing on our
I was
phones and just
actually
take a photo.
walking home from the grocery store over the weekend, and there was a pregnant woman standing on this little hill in this janky little playground park near
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
because the trees have turned colors.
Yeah.
And she had her husband taking pictures of her. And I thought, oh my God, this is perfect. People have no idea that's like this
Yes.
sad little corner lot because there's this
Mm.
beautiful tree in the background. And you're none the wiser. I guess,
Yes.
again, this is where expectations come in.
Yes.
It's like you're
Right.
saying no
Yeah.
in a lot of ways to this grand idea, but you're
Right.
saying yes to still what your core value is,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and
And it's
with I'm
starting
already
with
like with Canva, you could remove the background, put you all in a Christmas
that's true.
play, the end, right? Like
I love it.
with digital and AI and all that kind of stuff. It's if you could just get your family in a photo, if that's your value. I like a photo. I love getting cards from family and friends across the country and seeing how their kids have grown. And I really like that. I enjoy that. And I've really fine tuned. I used to send out probably 150 cards, and I've really cultivated a smaller list so it's not as overwhelming for me. Those are some ways that I set boundaries around it,
Yeah.
saying no to the gorgeous photo, but saying yes to my value of connecting with friends and family.
So when it comes to a lot of the holiday activities, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes
Mm-mm.
you a person with boundaries. That's
Yes.
it. Boundaries are healthy.
Mhm.
You're not responsible for managing everyone's expectations or making sure everyone is happy. You're responsible for protecting your time, your energy. And that's something you should be proud of. And that's something that we all can continue to do some work on. Well, at
Yes.
least I know I can.
Brings us to tip number 3, practice saying no with grace, okay? So often we feel guilty because we think no is harsh or rude, but there are ways to decline gracefully without burning bridges. So here are a few examples of saying no while still being respectful. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm not available this time. I'm so honored by the invite, but I'm going to have to pass. I really appreciate you reaching out, but I've committed to something else. Kelly, have you received those responses from people? And what's your reaction?
Okay.
Yep. Could
We
care
all
less.
have
Yeah.
a lot of friends. We all have a lot of family. We all have a
Yeah.
lot of activities going on. If people can't make it, it's okay. And we move on.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have these sort of expectations that certain people need to be there or I need to be at certain
Yeah.
places sometimes. But you notice how all of Jessica's responses involved
No
no
long
long
explanations.
explanation, no apology, because you don't owe anyone a reason for saying no. You can keep it simple, polite, and to the point. Over explaining often leads to more guilt or pressure to reconsider. So practicing being firm but kind.
And
People
I
don't need to
think,
know any, like,
yeah,
they don't need to know why. They just like,
no.
I go.
And
Sorry.
also, this is a great way to possibly weed people out of your life, then, right? If they are offended and they're angry and they want to know why and ask you more questions, that's a great way to maybe reevaluate that relationship and see whether that relationship is not so energizing, but possibly more depleting. And maybe it's time to set even more boundaries around that relationship.
So I was a recipient of a boundary this weekend because Beckett had one of his last soccer games and my in-laws were planning to go. They haven't gone to a game all season because it's always been something that has come up. Like it was rainy and crappy and that was yucky. And they were planning to go to his game. They sent in a note the night before and like they were going to go. And then come to find out, Sunday morning comes and they're like, we're not going to make it. It's too much for us. We just can't do it. And I was disappointed. But I responded and I was like, I totally understand. Like it was cold out. They got a lot of stuff going on. I think the other part that we don't necessarily have it in a tip on this is if you are the recipient of somebody saying no, let's support other people's boundaries. Let's be
Yeah.
good with that. Let's make them feel okay. Hey, I respect your boundaries. Or,
Yeah.
yay, way to go. You
Yeah.
have
Or yes. Or
boundaries.
say, totally get it. Enjoy your family. Or
Yeah.
sounds great. We'll
Yes.
catch up another time.
Yes.
And I think, again, you don't have to justify or say we have a lot going on or does it work for us or anything like that. But you can just simply say, I can't make it. Thanks for thinking of me. Thank you goes a
Yes.
long way too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm always grateful to get invited to things because it doesn't happen that often. So I'm always like, thank you for that. So let's talk about our final tip, which is tip number 4, which is plan your yeses intentionally. So while it's important to say no to things that don't align with your priorities, it's also important to be intentional about your yeses. We still only have those 4,000 weeks here on earth. And so when you say yes, make sure it's something that brings you joy. It aligns with your values and it contributes to your well being. Because when you spend time on the things that truly matter to you, you won't feel too stretched and you'll feel more full, right?
Yeah.
So if you love hosting small gatherings but feel overwhelmed by big events, say yes to a small, cozy dinner with close friends instead of having multiple large parties. protect your time in a way that works for you. What do you think about that,
Yes.
Jess?
I am working on it. I know I'm gonna get it together at some point, but I hosted pre-COVID huge parties all the time. We had a big Oktoberfest, an ugly sweater Christmas party, and a New Year's party, and we have not been hosting any of those. I felt like it was my get out of jail free card. Then I could avoid it and not let people down. And so that's where I have a hard time cutting the guest list. And so I think that's gonna be my challenge this year of trying to have something very simple and cozy with a few friends and not this giant 75 people gathering.
Yes. Yes. Let's wrap this up. Giving
Yes.
yourself permission to saying no. Let's recap our
Yes.
key takeaways.
Number one, remember, get clear on your priorities and use them as a guide for saying yes or no.
Reframe your mindset. Saying no is about protecting your time and energy and not about rejecting others.
And this is a journey, not a destination. So we're practicing, right? We're trying to see what works this year. So practice saying no with grace by keeping your responses simple and polite.
And our final one is to plan your yeses intentionally. There's only so much you can do. Make sure you are committing to things that align with your values and that bring you joy.
Yes. If you want more reading about this, check out the article We All Need Me Time During the Holidays from Very Well Mind. Again, this will be in the show notes. And the article from the American Psychological Association Saying No. The negative ramifications from invitation decline are less severe than we think. Remember, the holidays are supposed to be a time of joy, connection, and celebration. But if we
Yes.
don't protect our time, it can quickly become a season of stress and overwhelm. So, learning to say no without guilt, by doing this, you're giving yourself the gift of time, energy, and peace.
We hope today's episode is giving you some valuable tools and helping you protect your time. We want you to have a joyful holiday season. Saying no is a skill that takes practice, but the more you do it, the more confident you'll feel about setting those boundaries to honor your needs. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member, especially those who might need a little extra encouragement during this holiday season. Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop. If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Come visit us on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure to give us a follow. We have lots of giveaways. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks.